What's going on, guys? It's time for your Week 3 matchups on Chillin' with Bobby and Harmon. I'm Harmon.
I'm Bobby. Here's the fun part.
On tap, Thursday night, Giants at the 49ers. We got Christian McCaffrey versus Matt Breida. We've got Paris Campbell versus Brandon Ayuk. And Darren Waller versus George Kittle.
Hey, Darren Waller versus George Kittle is a good match. Good head-to-head.
Who do you think wins this?
Oh my! I mean, my heart wants to say the Giants just to be crazy, but no, Niners win it for sure.
I have
31-20 is what I have.
You have 31-20. I have the Niners winning this 36-14.
Yeah.
I think that they just ball out. I don't think the Giants defense is going to find any way to stop Deebo Samuel or McCaffrey. And
Giants always score when they're playing from behind, but it's
They
like
do.
always too late. You know?
Right.
It's
Saquon shouldn't play tomorrow, but if he does, I'd be very risky with it.
yeah.
But I don't see anyone stopping the Niners in this game.
No.
And then on to our Sunday games. This is the Sunday morning games.
Here we go.
We've got the Falcons at the Lions. I think the Lions take this. I think they're going to hand the Falcons their first loss. I've got the Lions winning 24-21.
I got 28-20 Lions, just because I think Dan Campbell's got a scrappy team. I think Goff brings it back because they almost won last week against the Seahawks.
Yep.
But yeah, Amon-Ra gets a touchdown.
Amon-Ra.
Get that duel going. They'll be straight.
I think Montgomery's hurt too. So I think
Is he?
Yeah, I think it might be the
Oh.
Jahmyr Gibbs show on Sunday.
Wow. Yeah.
I haven't heard too much about Montgomery, but I know he did. I think he's questionable, so it might be Gibbs. And then Josh
Gibbs
Reynolds.
is a baller.
Josh Reynolds has a pretty good connection with Goff these
Yeah,
first two games.
he does.
So I picked him up
a lot
off the
of
waiver wire.
touchdowns.
Yep. So
It's good that there's someone else though that Goff has to throw.
he's
Yeah.
got rookie tight end Laporta.
Yeah. Laporta's been doing all right.
Yep. So Falcons at the Lions.
Mm.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Then, hopefully, potentially, on paper as record to be a great game, the Chargers at the Vikings. Both teams are 0-2, looking for their first win.
Mm-hmm.
Eckler is still questionable, but he's slated to play.
Both defenses.
I think that it's going to be a shootout, but I have the Chargers taking this 37-34.
Yeah, I got 42-38, and I got the Vikings. I think Kirk brings the boys back, uses that crazy receiver tandem he has,
Yeah.
Madison and Jettas. And maybe Madison finally gets something figured out.
Maybe it's Akers.
Maybe. But yeah, they establish a little run game, get the play action going, and Kirk is going to thrive.
Do you think Jefferson gets his first touchdown?
I think so.
You think the Purple People Eater is going to take it, huh?
Yes. 1-2.
Either way, we think it's going to be a shootout, and hopefully it ends up being that way.
Poor Herbert always gets screwed over, so if they lose, it's not Herbert's fault. I imagine.
We'll have to see if Brandon Staley decides to go on it for 4th and 3 when they're on their own 30-yard
He's
line.
a genius.
And then on to the Saints at the Packers. I've got the Saints taking this 21-17. I think that the Saints are going to stay undefeated.
Well, this is boring so far because I got the Saints as well, 24-21. I just like Derek Carr this year. I like what they're doing so far. Just controlling the game, playing easy football, simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
I believe there's also, I think next Sunday is Kamara's last game of suspension, right? He's spent the first
I think
4
it's
weeks.
yeah.
Okay.
So-
Kamara will be coming back soon. Michael Thomas, he seems to get a connection
Yeah,
with him.
Derek Carr and him are great.
Jamal Williams, I think, is hurt, so I don't know if he's
The
gonna play.
backups did solid though last week, so I'm sure he'll be all right.
We'll have to see how that goes. But, I mean, it is in Green Bay, and you know how tough that crowd is to play in.
Lambeau Field's the worst to play in.
So we'll have to see. I mean, the Packers could pull off an upset. The Saints are the
Oh,
favorite,
they could.
but I think that this game could go either way. It's not one-sided.
That's true. Defense is tough though. Jordan Love's truly going to be tested, so
For sure.
I'm excited for that.
Yep. And then on to the Texans at the Jaguars. I think Trevor Lawrence is a little upset from that last week loss
Yeah.
to the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he balls out, makes some good connections with maybe Christian Kirk or Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
I've got the Jags 31-17.
I got the Jags 24-14 just because Texans don't score that much. They don't really have a high-power offense. They just got Dameon Pierce, really. But I do see Trevor Lawrence, though, not balling out like crazy because the Texans actually do have a good defense. So
Right.
I'll give them props there. So I just got 24-14, 10-point deficit. But yeah, Jags win.
We'll have to see all this on Sunday. And then on to the game that you're most excited for.
Oh yeah.
The Broncos at the
Russ can
Dolphins.
prove himself finally.
I'm sorry to have to do this for you. I do think it's going to be close. I think Russ showed shine last week that he can be back in his peak form.
Mm-hmm.
I have the Dolphins taking this 28-24.
Yeah, and I'm not far off from you. I got the Dolphins 35-28. I just think the Broncos secondary is not as good as I thought it was. They're kind of depleted back there. I miss OJ Moutier. He used to be a dog last year, but we got rid of him. But yeah, it's really just the Pat Surtain show. But how are you going to contain Waddle, Hill, and Tua's been balling with them, so I just don't see them containing that.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, though. I hope Broncos ball out.
I actually think the Broncos can take this too.
They could.
I think they could pull off an upset.
Definitely.
It'll just be a matter of the play calling Sean Payton decides to go with.
The offense has to keep up with the Dolphins' offense.
I do think that the
That's-
Broncos are going to be able to stop the run game.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't think like Raheem Mostert's going to get a lot
That
of
line
runs.
is pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, they got exposed last week, but that was because Sam Howell was just torching the deep the secondary.
I mean, Antonio Gibson and Brian Robinson are a good 1-2 punch for running
Yeah,
back.
but
dude.
they didn't have a lot of yards till the second half.
Right.
And yeah, the Broncos are usually pretty good at containing the run.
So
They'll be back on.
we both have the
march.
Dolphins winning, but it should be a close game. Hopefully we get a good game out of it.
I've taken the Broncos each week, and they failed me, so maybe they'll win this week. When I
Maybe you
take
should
the
just if they win, you should just go opposite of Broncos and they'll just win every game. We'll have to
real.
see. And then on to the Titans at Browns. Not much to go off of here other than the Browns are without Nick Chubb for the season, which is going to hurt them significantly. They did sign Kareem Hunt, but Kareem Hunt isn't Nick Chubb.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have the Browns beating the Titans. There won't be significant run game, I don't think, in this game, just because the Titans have a stingy run defense.
They do.
But I have the Browns winning this 17-14.
Yeah, I got Browns 20-13, and it's not because the Browns are going to be playing really good football that day. It's just because the Titans' offense sucks.
You got
Besides Derrick Henry.
You got Derrick Henry, Traylon Burks, and DeAndre Hopkins, but
It's just Tannehill. I just don't trust him at all.
yeah, it's tough. It'll be interesting to see what they can. I mean, the Titans could win this too.
They could.
Most of these morning games are about 50-50.
Yeah.
Any of these teams I think could win in the morning.
Tannehill's just going to play smart. And the Browns, honestly, they shouldn't have lost last week. They just gave it up. Deshaun threw a pick, had a fumble,
Yeah,
So turned it over.
I think he'll come back. I still think he's trying to click with this Browns offense.
Yeah.
He seems to not have a super good connection with Amari Cooper right now.
I don't know. They were kind of cooking up the other night.
Yeah.
He was targeting him, and he was hitting him on a few routes. So
Well, plus the Steelers' defense is tough, so
Yeah.
it makes it not easy to do
I
that.
think the Titans' defense is not as good as Steelers, but their run defense is really good. So
And then on to the Bills at the Commanders in Washington. I have the Bills still taking this 31-21. I think Sam Howell still is able to ball out.
yeah, I agree with you. I got 35-17 though, because going back on Sam Howell, the first week he didn't do so well. I think the Broncos' secondary just sucks.
And that Bills
So-
defense is a little bit tougher than the Broncos defense, at least for their.
Yeah,
But I mean, on the other side too, you got Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and James Cook. Like that Bills offense, I don't think Washington has
They
the
got
secondary
two.
that's going to keep up with those guys.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, James Cook has been doing pretty well too.
awesome. Yep, it's. I think the Bills get another
Bills
win.
Mafia Sunday.
Yep.
baby.
There's going to be some tables broken in half. And then on to the Colts at the Ravens. I
This
think.
would be a good game if Richardson was playing.
Yeah, I
but
think Minshew's slated to play.
Maybe Minshew's surprises people.
Who knows? Maybe the Colts pull off an upset, but it is in Baltimore. It's going to be tough. I saw Odell was injured too. So Odell is questionable also for
so
Sunday.
they got Zay Flowers though, and then they got Mark Andrews.
Of course. And you got Lamar himself who can
Yeah,
run.
Lamar plays pretty well at home.
For sure. I have the Ravens taking this 27-17.
I got Ravens 35-14.
You think Lamar just blows them up, huh?
I think he does, and I think Minshew still is just getting used to being the guy right now.
Yeah.
So
Not much to go off on this game. But and then we've got for our last morning game, the Patriots at the Jets.
ooh doggy.
And I actually have the Patriots winning this 21-10. I don't think that
They're bound to win.
I don't think that Zach Wilson is the Patriots actually have a pretty good defense too.
Yeah.
And I think that the Jets offense are still trying to figure stuff out now with Zach Wilson under center. So
Yeah, I got Jets 17-14, same score I had them at last week, but I think the defense contains Mac Jones.
yeah,
And I think that they force some turnovers, get some field goals off of that, and one field goal. And I think that they're going to run it in, though, with that duo they have, because is Cook hurt?
Dalvin. I haven't heard anything.
Brees Hall and them are still
Brees
good?
and Dalvin, yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're going to be
I think
fine.
Brees is questionable, but he's going to probably like that every week since his ACL injury.
Yeah, they'll be fine, though.
But yeah, it
They'll
should be
take care of business.
it should be a defensive matchup for sure.
Yeah, and it's in New York, so that's why I gave New York the edge, because
Yeah.
I think those guys will split, and the Patriots will have the next one when they go to Foxborough.
Right. And that's it for the morning games. And then on to the afternoon games, we have giant bowl of crap for these afternoon games.
Oh, gotta love it, dude. Gotta bask in it.
We've got the Panthers at the Seahawks. It's at home for Seattle. They did just come off an overtime win in Detroit. And I think that they're going to beat the Panthers since Bryce Young is still figuring out playing.
Yeah.
I have the Seahawks 27-14.
Yeah, I got Seattle 38-17.
You think they just
I think they're gonna
ball
torch it up and ball out.
yeah? Do you think it's DK time this
I
Sunday?
think it's DK time. I think Walker gets one too.
Walker, yep.
I think Gino enjoys the glory of playing a terrible team.
Well, I mean, the Panthers could somehow maybe muster a win out of this, but it'd be tough.
Yeah, I'm just not convinced with Bryce Young yet. I don't see it.
Right. Those rookie quarterbacks are hit or miss, but you got to give them time to develop and get adjusted to the game plans.
Yeah.
But I still think Seattle's going to beat this, especially at home.
Yeah.
And then on to the Chicago Bears at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think I was being pretty generous here that I said that the Bears would score a touchdown. I have the Chiefs winning 34-10. I think that Chris Jones back in the defensive lineup is going to put heavy pressure on Fields. The Bears
defense is really good.
The Bears defense is
Really
practically
good.
invisible. So I think Mahomes is going to connect with Kelsey. I think he might even connect with Kadarius Toney.
Oh yeah.
But I think that they just squashed them
I think
34-10.
Pacheco runs one in too.
You could.
I have 31-24. The reason why is because I think the Chiefs are going to ball out first half. Like I think they're going to have like 21 points, and then they're going to let their foot off the gas pedal. Fields is used to playing from behind, so I think he's just going to go crazy on the ground. He's going to run one in or two. But yeah, they're going to play from behind. He's just going to take some chances, and they'll get 3 touchdowns. So
We'll see. But either way, we both have the Chiefs winning.
yep.
And then on to perhaps what could be an absolute mollywhopping. The
Butt whooping.
the Cowboys at the Cardinals. It is in Arizona.
Go Cardinals.
I guess you got that going for you, but I guarantee there's going to be more Dallas fans at this
Oh,
game
yeah.
than Cardinals
It's going to be
fans.
toxic, yeah.
I have the Cowboys winning this 28-14. I think that James Conner is able to maybe run one in, maybe even has both their touchdowns if the Cardinals can even get near the red
Oh,
zone.
yeah.
Who do you have?
I have the boys 31-17, and I'm being generous with the 17, but I pray to God Joshua Dobbs can do something Sunday. He has been so.
They need Murray
piss
back.
poor, yeah.
They need Murray.
They do.
Yep. And so
Marquise still been playing.
Marquise has done great. Connor's a great back.
Doing pretty good.
But I just don't see with that Cowboys defense
yeah.
and that offense. I
could see them getting like a pick six very early in the game.
Yeah.
And then I could see them putting in tune. The Cardinals putting that back up.
Yep.
And
So
maybe that makes things interesting.
maybe, but
He just sends shots down the. Because Dobbs doesn't really air it out.
he does like little 10-yard
Yeah,
passes.
it's like, what are we doing, bro?
Right.
We're setting up the play action for you to throw it deep, not 10 yards.
Right. Well, we'll find out Sunday when the Cardinals lose. I'm calling it right now. Logan, if you're watching this, dude, Logan will message me each week and be like, bet on the Cardinals to win. And I was like, I am not doing that at all this
Anything's
season.
possible, but yeah. I mean, Dallas has been solid so far, and they always have that one week that just humbles them again. But
Yeah.
I don't see it happening this week.
Not this week.
Yeah.
And then on to our Sunday night game. We got the Steelers in Vegas
Let's go.
against the Raiders.
It'll actually be a close game, I think.
I actually have the Steelers winning this 21-20.
Yeah, you're probably more right than I am. I got the Steelers 28-17, just because that defense.
It's going to be...
And Jimmy G played terrible.
Yeah, I don't think Jimmy G does anything against the Steelers defense.
I'm nervous for Jacobs, though.
Yeah, Jacobs is going to be tough with the run. I think actually Najee gets a touchdown.
Yeah, finally, hopefully.
I think Najee gets a touchdown. He might even connect with George Pickens.
Yeah, the Raiders' defense is very lackluster compared to the Steelers, but they do have Max Crosby.
So do you have faith in Kenny Pickett as a quarterback?
After last week, no. But I have seen his stats from last year, and he's very inconsistent. He's either on or off, and so I think he can do it. I think he can be a great quarterback when he's in the right mindset, but it just depends on his attitude.
Right.
He's just not disciplined or got the weekly grinding mindset, I guess.
Yeah. But we both have the Steelers beating Vegas.
Yeah.
So
He seemed very out of it on Monday, and they still won. So that's what blows my mind away.
And then on to our Monday night games, which these games we got to power through Sunday. I think we're going to make up for these games Monday night.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Monday night, we got the Eagles at the Buccaneers.
I love this matchup. It'll be good.
I still think the Eagles are going to take this in Tampa. I think that Baker's going to be having a tough time with that Eagles defense.
Probably will.
But I do have it being close.
Probably right.
I still think that Baker slings it out a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I have the Eagles winning this 27-24.
I got the Bucks, 28-25.
You think Baker
I
makes them
think
3-0,
Baker's got
huh?
his swagger back.
You think Baker Mayfield's doing that, huh?
Well, yeah, he's got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. No reason not to go.
And Rashad White.
And Rashad White's been pretty good. Defense isn't bad either.
We'll have to see. I mean, it could be a shootout. It could be a low-scoring game.
And I think the Eagles look past this week hey, they kind of underrate these guys, and then they figure out real quick, hey,
Yep.
Baker's here to play.
I mean, I would love it if Tampa Bay won,
Me
but
too.
I just don't know if they will.
Me too. I mean, Eagles have such a good team, but
And then on to the last game Monday night. We've got the Rams at the Bengals. And I actually think that the Bengals get their first win of the season by a score of 34-24.
I'm still rocking with the Rams, 28-20. Reason being, Joe Burrow's not 100%, and no one can convince me otherwise. I think he's banged up still. I think he's playing through an injury. And yeah, I don't see them hanging with the Rams just because Matthew Stafford's been on it.
And Puka. And so, as our last part, we're going to... actually, that's it, right?
Yeah. You want to do the parlays in the other one?
Yeah, we'll do it in the next one. So,
cool.
That's it for your week 3 matchups and our predictions. We'll be back next week with our final scores that we wrote down as well as our points. You actually won this week by 1. You got 5 points and I got 4.
I did have that perfect game.
You had the perfect game score, so congratulations, sir. Ding, ding, ding.
Thank you.
So that is our week 2 matchups.
Yep.